Visiting China is not as easy as it sounds. The country is incredibly modern, but also incredibly digital. Everything, from ordering food, paying your bills, to even getting into your hotel, often relies on apps and mobile payments. If you don't have the right apps on your phone, even something simple like taking a taxi or finding your dinner spot can become a big challenge. So in today's video, I'm going to share 4 essential apps that will make your China trip smooth and stress-free. These are the same apps that locals use every single day. And as someone who's been to China about 5 times, I use these apps every time I visit. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. All the opinions come purely from my personal real experience. Hope this video helps you skip the confusing part and enjoy your trip more comfortably. Let's start with AMAP, or 高德地图 in Chinese. You might assume that Google Maps or Apple Maps works everywhere, but in China, that's not the case. Google services and Apple, including Google Maps, are blocked in mainland China sometimes. You can still access it with a VPN or a foreign eSIM that bypasses the block, but even then, it's not very reliable. Many restaurants, cafes, and attractions you see on Google Maps might have already closed months or even years ago. Same does Apple Map. And if you follow its directions, sometimes you end up in completely wrong places, like an empty lot or a building that doesn't exist anymore. That's where AMAP comes in. AMAP is an accurate and up-to-date mapping service in China used by locals every day. It shows not only the latest business hours and names, but also live traffic, available parking spaces, and even which subway exit to take. When I was in Guangzhou last year, my partner and I used Apple Maps to search for our Airbnb. We thought it was fine until we end up in the wrong location twice. We booked our DiDi ride to the wrong place 2 times and waste so much time and money. From that point on, I only use the local maps only. The Google Maps and the Apple Maps still have the use sometimes if you really don't understand how to use the local maps, but I will recommend you use the local map first. If you don't have any other choice, then Google Maps and other 4 maps. Next, let's talk about transportation. If you're used to apps like Uber, Lyft, or Grab, none of those works in China. The local ride-hailing app is called DiDi, and it's basically China's version of the Uber. DiDi connects almost all taxi and private car services into one platform. You can choose from budget taxis, standard cars, or premium ride depends on your comfort level. From my experience, the cheaper the car, the higher the chance of getting a bad experience. Sometimes the car smells strongly of cigarette smoke, or the driver might drive aggressively. If you're having at least 2 luggage, be aware that the car might not have enough spaces, or the driver will refuse to take you. But it happens very rarely. During rush hours, especially around 8 to 10 a.m. and 5 to 7 p.m., it can be very difficult to get a cheaper DiDi quickly. So if you're in a hurry, it's worth paying a bit more for a guaranteed better quality ride. And one more thing, DiDi has an English version of the app, which is great for foreigners. But if you can read a bit of Chinese, the Chinese version gives you more coupon options and local deals. If you can only download one app for traveling in China, it has to be WeChat. WeChat isn't just a messaging app, it's the center of digital life in China. People use it for messaging, payment, ordering food, booking taxis, hotel check-ins, customer service, and even official communication. For example, when I stayed at an Airbnb, I needed extra kitchen tools and the staff contact me directly through WeChat. When you visit restaurants, many of them don't have paper menus anymore. Instead, you scan a QR code on the table and a WeChat mini program opens where you can order and pay. If you ask for a physical menu, the staff might be confused or tell you they don't have one. Once you link your international credit card to WeChat Pay, you can shop, eat, and travel just like locals. Most Visa and MasterCards are supported now. When you meet people in China, friends, guides, hotel staff, they'll ask for your WeChat instead of your phone number. It's the main communication platform in China. Finally, let's talk about Alipay. China barely uses cash anymore. Whether you're buying from a high-end restaurant or a tiny flower stall, everything is done through mobile payment. When we bought roses from a small stall near the CCTV building, the owner laughed and said, "I haven't used cash in a long time." Alipay is one of the biggest payment platforms, and it's extremely foreigner-friendly. For example, my partner doesn't speak Chinese, but Alipay has a built-in translation feature that automatically turns menus and payment instructions into English. It's not perfect and sometimes fails, but it's still much more helpful than other apps. It also has an foreign exchange calculator, which I personally find very useful. You can link international credit or debit cards directly and start paying with QR codes immediately. If you know even a little Chinese, switch your Alipay language to Chinese. You'll often find more local coupons, just like with DiDi. So you might think which is better, WeChat Pay or Alipay? Here's my honest suggestions. For foreign travelers, use Alipay as your main payment method. Its English interface and design making things easier, but WeChat is still more widely used, especially for restaurant ordering through mini programs. So I recommend having both. Alipay is for main payment tool, and WeChat is for backup payment and essential for food ordering. Sometimes both payment systems might fail, so always prepare a little bit of cash just in case. So those are the 4 essential apps you'll need when traveling in China: AMAP, DiDi, WeChat, and Alipay. Once you have all them set up, everything becomes easier. So these are the 4 essential apps that I think it would be helpful. I was using those apps for a pretty long while. Well, I just recommend people to have these 4 apps since that is mostly what people use all the time in China. If you have any other apps that you recommend or you have any experience of using these apps, comment down below. I would like to talk about it. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment. I will also answer your questions. Hope you like this video and I hope you find these apps helpful. See you in the next video.